In today's video, we're delving into 5 harsh and unexpected realities that no one escapes once they cross into their 80s. These aren't the obvious physical declines or the numbers on your medical reports. Did anyone ever warn you that life after 80 could feel like a curveball? Even the strongest and most independent souls frequently find themselves caught off guard. These are more profound changes. They all have one thing in common. They shape how we experience aging. These changes can seem harsh, but acknowledging them can bring peace, purpose, and even renewed strength. There's something incredibly empowering about naming what you're living through and realizing you're not walking through it alone. Let's begin. Quiet changes in how others treat you, how you view time, and how your own memories begin to whisper truths you hadn't noticed before. Some of these changes may be things you've sensed but couldn't fully name. Others may catch you off guard. First, the globe of social connections is becoming smaller. One of the first things that subtly becomes apparent at the age of 80 is the obvious decline in your social circle. Sure, you may still get calls and occasionally have guests, but the frequency has changed, and more than that, so has the sense of what was there felt like a simple, natural rhythm of friendships and interactions. But now it feels more dispersed, with even fragile friends moving away, getting sick or losing family members, and you finding yourself spending more time in silence than in conversation. This isn't about being resentful, rather it's about being honest. After 80 years, few people openly discuss how difficult it is to keep those connections going. You may find yourself reflecting more, not just out of longing, but also as a way to keep loved ones close, if only through memory. The laughter you once shared and the everyday routines you once took for granted now feel like precious treasures. And there's nothing wrong with feeling this way. It's not weakness or loneliness in the traditional sense. It's just a quiet adjustment that almost everyone faces, but few are prepared for. For this reason, it's more important than ever to stay emotionally connected to yourself and your story, to even one or two close people, because once the crowd fades, the meaning held in a few deep connections becomes more valuable than ever before. Can minor health problems develop into large ones? The fact that even minor health issues no longer go away is another reality that often surprises people in their 80s. For example, a simple cold now lasts much longer than it used to. A minor bruise takes weeks instead of days to heal, and a small mishap that would have been forgotten by lunchtime now requires weeks of recuperation, treatment, or possibly surgery. This shift isn't something most people openly discuss with friends, family, or even your doctor, but you notice the difference, feel the weight of every recovery, and see how your energy takes longer to return. The real challenge here isn't just physical, it's emotional, because there's a kind of frustration that comes with realizing your body doesn't cooperate the way it used to. It's not just that your body slows down, it's that the margin for error gets thinner, and something as simple as missing a meal or not drinking enough water can throw your entire system off. In many ways, you may still feel strong, but your resilience no longer runs quietly in the background like it did when you were younger, active, competent, or self-sufficient. The truth is that awareness is a type of strength. Once you start paying attention to how your body reacts, you can adjust, slow down without giving in, and recognize what your body really needs. This change may feel very intimate, like a betrayal. If you're still watching and finding this video helpful, please leave a comment number 2 below so I know you're still with me. This chapter of life isn't about proving you're still unbreakable, rather it's about protecting what strength you still have by not taking it for granted. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is give yourself permission to fully recover. To ensure you don't miss any upcoming videos, I advise you to click the button and turn on the bell if you haven't already. Your assistance is greatly appreciated and enables us to continue producing educational and inspirational content. Let's proceed. The third factor is the gradual decline in social visibility. One of the most startling changes that occurs after the age of 80 is how quickly people start to ignore you as a result of a subtle cultural shift. Few people acknowledge you when you walk into a room, and the energy doesn't change from how you used to speak, and occasionally people talk over you. Not because they're being rude, but because This isn't just about being ignored, it's about a gradual fading of presence in a world that moves more quickly and prioritizes youth, and few people prepare you for this. It can feel like your age enters the room before you do, like your stories, thoughts, and life experiences are brushed aside even though they contain more truth than ever before. You've lived, you've lost, you've loved, and yet there are times when your presence feels diminished. This reality can elicit a range of emotions, including sadness, frustration, and even a quiet kind of grief, but there's strength in seeing this change for what it is, It's not a measure of your worth. It's elders, you are not invisible. The world may not always recognize you right away, but your voice still has value, and those who choose to pay attention to you, their stories, humor, and reflections are the ones who matter. Even if it takes them a little longer to fully pay attention, they are listening, so don't back down. Share what you've seen, what you've conquered, and be the silent presence that reminds others what grace is. Knowledge and fortitude. You may not be the loudest person in the room, but you are the most experienced, and that matters more than most people think. The fourth is the narrowing of your daily life. This isn't just about physical changes, it's also about the gradual fading of the life you once knew, which was full of familiar routines, people, and places. It doesn't happen all at once, but gradually you might find yourself going out less because everything feels a little more exhausting or just harder to navigate. Friends who used to visit may move away, get sick, or pass away, and neighbors may come and go, favorite spots may close, and your world doesn't fall apart, it just quietly shrinks. This comes with emotional weight at first, though the loneliness may seem like background silence that is hardly perceptible, but eventually, even for people who have always been fiercely independent, there's something unsettling about watching the familiar slowly fade away. This is also true, even though the old world may shrink a little. Mourning, not weakness, brings clarity. It's the calm sorrow of seeing pieces of life slip away, not because you've stopped trying, but because you cared. If you're still here and this message speaks to you, please leave a comment below. Number 4. If you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. The new one can still grow, and that growth may not come from travel or grand adventures, but rather from deeper conversations, a bond with someone younger, or the sharing of memories in ways you've never had before. Life doesn't have to be vast to be rich, it just needs to stay meaningful, so make that call even if it's far away. Your assistance enables us to continue producing insightful and uplifting content. Let's proceed. The fifth. After the age of 80, your body begins to give you conflicting signals, frequently at the most inopportune moments. You wake up one day feeling strong, stable, and clear-headed enough to tackle anything, and the following day you're slower and more confused, wondering why your legs feel tight or why your hands can't hold that coffee cup as well as they used to. What makes this really, not only is it physically inconvenient, but it's also a betrayal. You've lived in this body your entire life and you've depended on it, so now it keeps changing the rules without warning or explanation. For example, you might plan a walk one morning and discover that it takes longer to stand up than it used to, or you might be surprised by dizziness, stiffness, or a strange tingling that goes away as quickly as it appeared. The worst part is that no one really addresses this inconsistency, which erodes not only at movement but also confidence. Suddenly you're hesitant to leave the house because you're unsure of what your body might do, which can make you feel smaller and more vulnerable, even in situations where you used to feel strong, and that's perfectly understandable. Now that you've learned how to plan and pace, flexibility becomes your strength and adaptation your tool. How to treat yourself with patience rather than anger. You start paying closer attention, taking breaks when necessary, stretching, and talking to your doctor. Not just when anything is wrong, but also to learn more about how to. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Stay one step ahead, because knowledge, even when faced with uncertainty, gives back a sense of power. So no, your body might not be as steady as it once was, but you are still very much in control thanks to experience and awareness. Last thoughts. We just went over 5 harsh realities that frequently surface after the age of 80. Each one is unexpected in its own unique way and has the power to subtly change our perception of the world, from the deterioration of intimate relationships to the unexpected physical unpredictability. These shifts can catch us off guard, but the truth is that accepting them isn't about allowing things to get worse. Rather, it's about facing life head-on and living it to the fullest, wisest, and most freely possible. What struck you as the most notable of these 5 realities? Have you observed any of them in your own life, or perhaps in someone close to you? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. At the end of the day, growing older doesn't mean losing worth, rather it means gaining perspective, and when we face these realities together, we build strength not just in ourselves but in one another. Thank you for spending time with us today. We would really like to hear your thoughts.
One takeaway from today's video is how you plan to respond to it, whether it's letting go of regret, reaching out to someone you've grown distant from, or simply treating your body with more compassion. Your experience might be the one that inspires someone else. Tell us one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life in the comments section below. Your voice counts, so don't be afraid to share.
If you found this video to be important or helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support enables us to continue creating insightful material to inspire and educate. Thank you for watching, and we hope to connect with you again in the future. Reading your comments gives us a lot of inspiration and enthusiasm.